welcome back to Cowboy Ranch Life, and today we've got a 2005 Dodge Cummins 3500 dually pickup, four-wheel drive, and we're going to be replacing the front shocks. So the reason we're replacing the front shocks is because, well, they're bad. And how you tell they're bad is the truck will ride rougher, it won't give the recoil aspect to the ride, it rides rougher, it can make your tires wear wrong, comparing on what type of axle you have on your vehicle. But anyway, nevertheless, today that's what we're going to be replacing. So please stay tuned for more. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment those down below. We try to respond really quickly on those questions. So with that, hope you all enjoy. Right, so we got the batteries pulled out. The reason we did that was mainly just because we needed to get it all cleaned up, and we needed also to get enough space in here to get to where the shocks are actually at. So if you all can see down in there, right there, if you all can see, there's a cone piece right there, and that bolt right there we have to take out, and then there's 3 bolts, one there, and then there's one on each corner, which we'll pull out in a minute. That holds the top, and there's the bottom of the cone piece, but that holds the top of the shock. And then down below, there's a bolt right in that little hole there, which is hard to see, and so we're going to take them out, and then we're going to install the new shocks. Alright, so now that we've got this bolt out, which takes a 21mm socket, we're going to pull the top off, or the cone off if we can, without damaging brake lines or wiring. Okay, so we ended up having to take the nut and that washer piece off of the top of the shock, and then we're trying to pull the cone. If you guys can see that. You take the cone off of the shock itself, makes it just easier for extraction. And by the way, these trucks have a major wiring system, if you all can see all the wires, so it's kind of getting to be a pain in the butt. But there is the shock. So, and it is shot.
Alright, so this is the new shock that is going in the left front. It is, there's the brand for you guys.
Reflect shocks and struts.
So it's black. They had, I think, multiple colors, but this is just the one they had in stock, so this is the one we grabbed because it'll be...
Also, make sure if you ever put these on, do not whatsoever, ever, and I'm going to say ever again, cut that blue piece. That's what holds the shock together for installation. After you get it done installing it, then you cut that off. It just helps it because, I mean, there's quite a bit of tension on that, and it just really helps hold it all together. So do not cut that off.
Otherwise, it just keeps going, and then it's hard to compress to get your bolts right.
Alright, so with that said, let's get our cone piece back on it, and back in the slot we go.
So there's what the tripod or the cone or whatever you want to call it looks like that's off the shock. And then there's the shock. It's just, I guess, the nature of them if they're not completely bad. These are bad, but they must have a little bit in them. So when you loosen the bolt and get it off, it just is going to extend or telescopic up a little bit. So there's the end on that. And then Winston is finishing taking the bolt out of the strut tower.
Can you pick up on the shock a little bit, just
which you can see in there, and then I'm going to pick up on the shock because then it frees the bolt up so then he can move and pull it out easier. So that's how it will work, and we'll update you a little farther along.
So for the front shocks, You need a 21 millimeter socket for the bottom, down below the axle. You need a 19 millimeter socket for the single bolt or the single piece that comes out of the shock in the middle of the cone, and then you need a 15 millimeter socket for the other three bolts or other three nuts that hold it all together. If y'all can see those three in there. So that's what you need for sockets, kind of help you all out. On the bottom, you will need an extension. Length and preference is just strictly your own, but we tried to use 1/2 inch stuff. It works pretty good. That and 3/8 is what we've been using. If you get much bigger than that, then it kind of gets bulky. But we pulled the batteries out just strictly because it makes it easier, like I explained earlier. You don't have to pull the batteries out, but it does kind of give you a bigger area to work. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, like I said earlier, comment down below if you have any questions. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, also follow us for our notifications, and go to Instagram and follow us so you can see what we're up to on a daily basis. So with that, hope you guys have an awesome day.